Good morning, children. As I told you, we were doing transpiration in plants, I think, chapter number 6. Then we are going backwards now because you covered the latter chapters previously. So we are going backwards, right? So today we're going to do chapter 5, photosynthesis, class 7, biology. Okay, now what is photosynthesis? Okay, photo comes from the word photon, that means light, okay, and synthesis is to make, right? So photosynthesis is to make something with the help of light. So basically what we are talking about out here is, in plants, they make their own food. By that I mean that it's not that they cook like us inside the kitchen and all. They have certain things, certain pigments, certain the way they do things, right? Like the way the root absorbs water, the way the leaves have stomata, the way oxygen goes in, and the way carbon dioxide goes in, oxygen comes out, all those things. There's a whole process involved. And when all these things are there in the presence of sunlight, that's why the word photo from the word photon, right? Very important part. In fact, sun is the primary source of energy. In fact, this statement, which states that the sun is the primary source of energy, can also be justified by this word itself, photosynthesis, right? So photosynthesis is nothing but plants manufacturing their own food in the presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll, the green pigment in leaves, okay? And we'll be studying that about in detail of a chloroplast, how it is done and all. I'll be letting you know. I've already given you the notes, so right now you just need to listen to what I'm saying, okay? And chlorophyll and roots take in water, together with the water, certain minerals. I think it's not mentioned out here, but it is there. Certain minerals are also taken by the plant. That's why we have to keep adding manure and all those things to the plant, okay? So all those things are taken in together with the water by the root. It goes up. Again, xylem and phloem is also there, okay? So it's not mentioned out here, but xylem takes it up to the branches, then from the branches to the leaves, right? And once it's taken in the leaves, the stomata opens up during the daytime. It lets in carbon dioxide, because that's the main thing for photosynthesis, right? The gas. So carbon dioxide goes in, and with the help of water and the minerals that are there in the presence of sunlight, with the help of the pigment chlorophyll, food is produced in the form of glucose, and oxygen is given as a byproduct, and that oxygen is what we breathe, right? So we give out carbon dioxide, plant gives out oxygen, right? We don't need carbon dioxide, plants need carbon dioxide. We need oxygen and plants don't need it. See, it's a beautiful balance. Understood? Okay. So let me just read. You need to consult the book also. All organisms need energy to live and grow. This energy is obtained from the food we eat. Animals get their food from plants and other animals. Plants, on the other hand, make their own food. They do so by a process called photosynthesis. Okay. Now, there are terms out here like autotrophic nutrition, producers, autotrophs and all, okay? So I'm going to tell you, plants are called autotrophs. Auto comes from the word automatic, right? So not autotrophs, auto comes from the word automatic, okay? So autotrophs are organisms that make their own food, right? For example, plants. We are heterotrophs. Why are we heterotrophs? Yes, we cook our food and eat, but we need something. When we eat, if you are non-vegetarian, you need to eat animal products, right? If you are vegetarian, you do eat plants, right? So we need something to make our food, some kind of matter, some kind of substance which we can eat. We cannot just stand in the sun, absorb water, drink a glass of water, absorb sunlight and start manufacturing our own food in our body. No, we can't do that. We need to eat. We need something. We need other things. We have to depend on other things. We have to rely on other things, other matter to make up our food, right? So plants are called autotrophs because they manufacture their own food, right? As I've told you, with the process of synthesis, photosynthesis, right? And this type of, and plants are also called autotrophs or producers, right? And this type of nutrition that they have is called autotrophic nutrition. Okay. Now, I'll just write the formula Okay, now, so CO2, I'm not going to balance this equation. H2O in the presence of sunlight, whatever. Okay, oh, it's already given there. C6H12O6 plus O2. So this is the main important component that we get in the bite. Okay, glucose, that's what we need, right? So carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll, you get glucose and oxygen. This is the whole process of photosynthesis. Okay. Now, from where does the carbon dioxide enter the plant? Through the stomata in the leaves, underside of the leaves. There are small openings, pores. Okay. The air, the carbon dioxide goes in, goes to the leaves. There the food production, photosynthesis takes place, and glucose is produced. And once the food is made, the process of respiration takes place. Okay. Then food gets utilized during the daytime also, in the night also. Okay, it continues. The glucose so produced is transported from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. It is converted into starch and stored in various storage organs within the plant. Oxygen released during photosynthesis is used by all organisms to breathe. Understood? So this is how important plants are to us. Now, structure of stomata, children, I have already covered this in the previous chapter. It is under the topic. I have given it in the notes. It's under the topic respiration through leaves. Just go through it. Basically, stomata consists of two guard cells. Okay, they are bean-shaped structures. I'm not going to. Okay, so these are the guard cells. Okay, and these are chloroplasts. Okay, and this is the stomatal opening. Understood? So CO2 would go in from here, and O2 would also come out from here. Understood? Now this guard cells is filled with certain jelly-like substance, cytoplasm. Okay, during the daytime it becomes tight. It becomes the density it becomes tight. Okay, and it opens up. Turgid. The word that we can use is turgid. So it opens up, and in the evening, this tightness or turgidity goes away, the density it goes down, and it becomes flaccid. Okay. No. The inner walls of the guard cells are thicker than the outer walls. The inner walls of the guard cell are thicker than the outer walls. When the guard cells are full of water, they swell and bulge outwards. As I told you, when water enters, it becomes big, swells up, turgidity takes place, becomes tight, the stomatal opening is free, the passage opens up, gates open up. Okay, so carbon dioxide goes in, and after the whole process of photosynthesis, oxygen comes out from here only. Okay, so when the guard cells lose water, they lose the turgidity and the stomata close. Normally, stomata remain open during the day and close at night. That's so true. So that's why plants can only give us oxygen during the daytime. Okay, now materials required for photosynthesis: carbon dioxide, as my equation is showing you, water, right, light, and chlorophyll, right. So carbon dioxide, you get it from the atmosphere through the stomata, it enters inside. Okay, so plants take in carbon dioxide through present on the leaves. As says, plants absorb water from the soil through the root. This water is then transported up to the stem through and leaves to xylem vessels, as I've already told you. Right, so water is taken in by the roots. One important thing that they forget to mention in all textbooks is they just mention what about, not only water, as I've already told you, why do we put manure in the plants? But it needs minerals also, it needs nutrients for its nutrition. Right, so together with the water, minerals also go in. So Plants absorb water from the soil through the root hair. This water is then transported up to the stem and leaves to the xylem vessels. Light, a very important ingredient for photosynthesis, and the sun is the principal source of light energy. Did you know that plants carry out photosynthesis even in artificial light? Oh yeah, that's true. People right now, I was just going through a documentary, and in China the space is less for farming. People are growing. I think China is one of the most populated countries in the world. Okay, now they have started vertical farms, not horizontal farms but vertical farms. Basically what they are going to do is, inside a building they are going to put plants, and it might be a hydroponic system where roots are submerged in water and all the new minerals are put out there, or they'll be put in small pots and they'll be growing vertically. Understood? So all the plants cannot get sunlight the same amount, the same intensity at the same time. So what it is done is, they are given artificial light, UV lights, ultraviolet lights of a good intensity, like the same intensity of the sun. We can always replicate that. These plants are growing healthily. In fact, some hotels are growing their own vegetables in their own vertical little gardens in the terraces or in certain rooms, and they are supplying that to the customers. In fact, they are bringing the pots, taking out the plant from there itself, washing it and giving it to the customers. So, you know, it's a very unique, trying to promote organic culture, this, all those things, clean, this, that. What I'm trying to tell you is, we do not need sunlight at all times. You can use artificial light also. Okay. So, the next ingredient is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Chlorophyll is present in the green colored plastid called chloroplast. Okay. So, basically chloroplast, plastids, there are three types of plastids: chromoplast, chloroplast, leucoplast, right? So, chromoplast, they impart color to the plant, all the other colors that you see besides green, like red, yellow, blue, the beautiful colors of a flower. These are all given by a plastid called chromoplast, right? Now, chloroplast, from the word itself, contains chlorophyll. It's a green pigment, dead plastid. Leucoplast, it has no color. It has got nothing to do with color. It is mainly concerned with storage and is usually found in tubers and all. Okay. Now, so what is a chloroplast? If you go at the microscopic detail, I'm going to rub this off since I need space. Okay, I'll just try to replicate the diagram in a rough manner, and I'm not going to try to make it because I don't have too much of time. So they are flattened discs out here like this, and they are all connected. Okay. These are all flattened discs. Okay, they are called granum, and this is the grana. Okay, and this is the stroma, the cytoplasm sort of a thing. Okay, so leaves are called the photosynthetic organ of the plant, obviously, because photosynthesis takes place in the leaf. Why are they suited for this? Why is the leaf the best option for photosynthesis? Because they contain chlorophyll inside chloroplast, which is necessary for photosynthesis, and they also have minute openings called stomata, as I've already told you, through which carbon dioxide enters the leaves and oxygen is diffused out. And leaves are well arranged to receive the maximum sunlight. So you know that leaves, tree is there, right? Tree is there, branches are there, and on the branches we have leaves. So they are spread out in such a manner that maximum sunlight can be absorbed. And a plant has a lot of trees. If you remove all the trees, a plant has a lot of leaves. If you remove all the leaves from a plant, the plant will die. It's as simple as that, right? So chloroplasts in plants cells absorb light energy from the sun. There may be thousands of chloroplasts in a leaf. That's so true. Chloroplasts are double membrane organelles. Okay, there's a double membrane out here, as I told you, and I cannot go too much into detail right now because I need to explain. The figure is there on page number 61. You can go through it, right? So the inner membrane of the chloroplast is folded into disc-shaped sacs. This is what I'm showing you, called thylakoids. Thylakoids contain chlorophyll and other pigments. This is green in color. It contains chlorophyll and other pigments, and are arranged in stacks called granum. Plural is grana. Grana in turn are connected to each other and lie in a gel-like substance called stroma. Okay, this is basic structure of a chloroplast. So this is where all the action is taking place. This is where, because of the reason why the plants are undergoing photosynthesis. Okay. Now, the process of photosynthesis, first of all, water is taken through the root system, minerals, nutrients, and carbon dioxide from the atmosphere reaches the leaves, right? Light is absorbed by chlorophyll, which splits water and oxygen. Now, this water gets split, H2O gets split and oxygen is released, right? This reaction depends on sunlight for activation energy. This takes place in the thylakoids of the chloroplast, In the next step, carbon dioxide splits and the carbon so obtained is used to make sugars, the glucose, C6H12O6, the glucose. Okay. This reaction does not require light energy. Understood? That's the important part. It takes place in the stroma, again, of the chloroplast. Sugars are formed during photosynthesis. Simple sugars are formed which then combine to form, this is not so important for you right now, what is a simple sugar, what is a complex sugar. Just remember the glucose, which is also a sugar, right? Diabetes patient, they'll understand. They go, because of this sugar thing, imbalance in the body, a person goes through a lot of problems when they have diabetes, right? The sugars are formed during photosynthesis, and glucose and fructose are formed as a result of photosynthesis. As I told you, they travel to other parts of the plant, and as you have already seen, whatever has to be used is used, and whatever has to be stored will be stored. Okay. So, it says out here, photosynthesis is the only process by which solar energy is converted into chemical energy. Very important, children. Okay, the solar energy, the light energy gets converted into chemical energy, right? Pine tree and other conifers have evolved over the years to grow into triangular shape because of photosynthesis. See, the triangular shape exposes most of its needles to the sun, especially the ones near the top of the tree. This allows the tree to grow taller and retain the shape. In fact, the structure of the tree, the shape of the tree is also determined by photosynthesis. If you go to the tropical jungles of Amazon, the tree trunks are usually slender, very tall. It's called a canopy, and out there the branches, they really spread and there's green covering. In fact, some areas are so covered by the leaves that they hardly receive sunlight. It's usually dark down there, and that's called a canopy. The trees are designed in such a manner to get maximum sunlight. Okay, so thank you so much for that, children. We'll be continuing in the next class. I'll be putting up more notes. Please copy the ones that I've already given, and in the next video class, I'm going to explain the rest of the chapter. Thank you.